Tefl-Dude here, and today I'm going to show you how to extract text from any image, whether it's a document that somebody sent to you or it's an image on the web that has text you would like to copy. Now this is going to be app number 2 that I show you in my series of moving from Windows to Mac. My first app I showed you was Clippy, where it shows how to collect the text history that you make. And you can find that in a link above and in the description below. Now there are 2 methods to extracting text. 2, you might be surprised? Well, the reason for that is there are 2 different results you will end up with depending on the method you choose. Have a look at this image up above here. Now, it's kind of columnized, the words, and if you copy that in one of the methods, like this here, you will end up with exactly the same columnized text with the formatting as shown on here. And what it really is, each line is kind of a new paragraph, but you can't see that. Now, the second method you choose, you will end up like this, a kind of concertina effect, where the whole text is really just one line. Now, there is a way to remove these paragraphs and make it into a concertina effect, and I will be showing you that later towards the end, and I'll show you how to do it both in the Mac text editor and in Pages, which is also the kind of Mac version of Word. So first I'm going to show you how I do it on Windows, just very quickly. Then I'm going to show you the in-depth how we do it on the Mac, both methods, and how to remove those paragraphs and replace them with spaces. So here I am on the Windows PC, and in order to extract text from this image here, what I would normally do is do Shift Windows T, and this comes from an app called PowerToys, as you can see here. Here it's called PowerToys. And what happens here is there's a number of toys that it can do, and these are many of the things I'm going to try to emulate on the Mac. And you can see there's lots and lots. Now I do have a video which I made about these, free apps. And I've put it in a link above and in the description below for if you have friends on Windows or if you end up going back to Windows. So remember, in order to extract any text, all I had to do was Shift Windows T, and then I would just simply copy this text from here, and then in my document I would just right click and paste it, and there it is, pasted. And you can see it's in exactly the same frame as what I've just copied, so it's been formatted that way, but each letter or the end of each sentence is actually paragraphed to go on to the next one. And like I said, we can show you how to fix that later on the Mac. Now let's have a go at the other method. Now the other method involves us downloading this free app from ShareX, and I won't go into, there's a myriad of things it can do too, but all we're going to concentrate on is the key that it gives you, which is print screen and the control. So I'm going to press that now. And as you can see here, I've got this kind of cross. So I'll highlight what I want to copy. And when I let go, you can see it's done the same. It's formatted it exactly like it was in the book. But notice here that you can actually click this item here called single line, and look what it does. It also makes it into a kind of concertina effect. And then you can just click copy all. We'll go here and I'll just right click and paste. And there you have it. Now it's pasted and it is also kind of concertina affected. So let's move on over now to the Mac and do exactly the same there. Now the app we're going to download is called TextShot. So let's go to our App Store here and type in TextShot. Now this is a free app, so don't worry about the one on the left, because we don't need that unless you want to buy it. This is the one we're going to use here, the free one, because all we're doing is just copying the text. So I'm going to click open now, and you don't notice it, but it has actually arrived on the top bar here. So when you click it, you can start the capture, but really we should go to the settings and make sure we have the key we want to use. And here, just like in the Windows, they've got Shift, what looks like Windows, but it's Command T. That's what we used in Windows. So that's quite nice and easy to remember. So also, I would like it to launch at login. Sure, otherwise I have to keep going to the app area and running it. This is one of those things like Clippy that I just want to be on all the time. It's a really useful tool. So I'm going to click that and you can see it's opened. I'll double click that just to make sure it has been added. So here's all the things I want to start when we start the computer. Clippy, TextShot, and I've got a Wacom tablet, by the way, that I use as a mouse pad or a trackpad. So that's done. So I'm going to close off this, and I'm going to use that text shortcut it mentioned, like on the Windows. So I'm going to click Shift Command T, and you can see a cross has appeared. And in fact, I'm going to collect everything, including the large text at the top. So there we go. And we have it. Now that we've copied the text, we need somewhere to paste it. So I'm going to use TextEdit and Pages, but first let's use TextEdit. Now I have it here, but if you don't know where to find it, just go to the Launchpad, and here in the middle you'll find Other. Click here, and then right at the top it says TextEdit. So just double click that and then click New Document. Here we've got TextEdit, and now I'm going to click Command V, which will paste it in. Or remember, we had Clippy from last time, so I can do Shift Command V, and you can see a history of what I did. So that's the text. It does the latest. And you can see that it's done it in exactly the same format. Dead is the first word, then it's interesting, and etc. etc. And it's kept it in that kind of paragraphy style. So now let's try and put it into Pages as well. So now Pages, you will have to download from the App Store if you haven't already. So just search here and type Pages, and you'll see I've already downloaded it with Numbers, which is a kind of Excel, and Keynote, which is meant to be like PowerPoint. So I'm going to open Pages and a new document. And again, a blank. I'm just going to get rid of that app. And here in Pages, so let me make it wider, I'm going to right click I'm going to Command V really, paste in. And you can see here, I'm going to make the points a bit larger, but you can see now here, you've got these kind of paragraphy things denoting the paragraph when I highlighted it. So you can see all this text is paragraphed. And like I said, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to get rid of that if you want it to be like concertina effect. Now, the other way to paste is a different way. So let me just move this out of the way. So the traditional way to do it, if this was on the internet and you couldn't highlight it like I just did, let's imagine it's an image. The traditional way is to do the copying the image, which is Shift, Command, and 4. Shift, Command, 4. Once again, you'll see this square light up, and I'm going to drag it. And as soon as I remove it, it's going to jump into the bottom corner. Watch that in the bottom right corner. See, there it is, and you have to click on it very quickly, and it jumps up. So now, what it's done, that's a screenshot, and that would normally go in my screenshot area. If you want to know where that is, check the video before this where I showed you the Clippy history, because we created a screenshot area for them to be captured. Otherwise, they end up on the desktop. You don't want that. Once it's in this kind of view, you can just copy everything. See? So I've copied everything, or highlighted everything. Command C I'm using now. And this time, when I go into our text editor, I do have to close this out. This time, when I go into our text editor, if I scroll down a bit and Command V, you can see it's in that kind of concertina effect I mentioned. Although I do notice there is 1 or 2 paragraphs there. So let's go into Pages. And here, Command V, again, you can see it's in a kind of concertina effect. But notice when I highlight it, I'm going to actually move it down to the next page. Notice that when I highlight it, there are some paragraph areas. For instance, here, and there's one here after the word tour. But that's it. So there's 1, 2. Now I'm not sure after the word tour it should have been, because if we have a look here where it says I'd accept, you can see here it says I'd accept the invitation. Let me just move that away. Yeah. So I'd accept the invitation gladly, it says here. And here it's not meant to be on a new page. So you might want to get rid of those paragraphs as well. You might want to unparagraph it all. And like I said, I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. And I'll show you also how to do it in the text editor. Although I would like to make that text a bit larger because it's rather small to be showing you anything here. That's it. That's all there is to it. So that's 2 ways to extract text from any image, any text. One more thing I do want to show you about the differences between these two is when you collect data from a table. Now I want to show you what happens when I use when I copy the table. So we're going to use the Mac method, Shift Command 4. That gives us that. I'm going to copy all of these words and then quickly click on that item at the bottom, otherwise you lose it. Now it does take about a minute or so, maybe half a minute, for it to read the text before you can just simply drag your cursor over it and copy it. Oh, I think it's ready now. Copy all of this to the word strong. Then I'm going to right click and do copy text. And now when I go into Pages, let's remove this out of the way. When I go into Pages and I do Control V, you end up with the table. That's quite nice. I'm not sure how to make these columns move at the moment. I'm very new to Mac myself. But notice it looks like that. But there may come a time when you don't want that. You just want the actual words. And that's where TextShot comes in handy. So this is using the original take a screenshot kind of image attitude. So let's use the other method where I'm just going to do Shift Command T, and that belongs to the TextShot. I'm going to copy all of that as well as the bottom, see what happens. So you can see it gone to our clip, and let's go down once again, maybe not so far, and I'm going to Command V, paste. And there you can see that it's just taken the text, it's taken the words from the columns, and it's put it in its own kind of column, you know. So I can now do with it what I like. Once again, the paragraph lines are there. So now that that's done, and now you can choose which method you want to copy from, let's move over and I'll show you how to get rid of these paragraphs. So in this text here, where we have the paragraph lines here. Now, in order to remove these paragraphs that I can show you here, you don't have to highlight them. You can just put your cursor in one spot. Go to View and do Show, Find and Replace, or you can do Control F, and that will bring up this box. Then you want to do a kind of backward slash with the letter N. And you can see here, it said it's found 80 of them. I want to replace it with a space, just one space. And I could do one at a time. I could see, look, replace, and then next. Or replace and find. So it'll do replace and find, and you can see I'm in control of which ones I want to get rid of. Or I can replace all. And then everything's kind of stuck together, as you can see. It's literally taken everything that I ever had in the text and done it. So that's how to get rid of the paragraphs and put spaces for that. Now, in the text editor, it's a little different. So here what you have to do is, once again, we don't have to highlight it. But we will have to press Control F because I don't know how else to get it here. Control F. And then it comes up with this bar. And in this bar, let me just click X there. In this bar, it says Find. And what you have to do is, well, first of all, we want to replace. So make sure you click that button there. You have to click this arrow Find. And what we have to do is look for Insert Pattern. And then Paragraph Break. And you can see it says there's 29 of them. And once again, in the second one, I'll put space. And I can just say Replace. And it will just replace one at a time, you see? So I'm in control again. Or I can say Replace All. And then it will just do that. Now, sometimes you might happen where there's two spaces like this. So it's always good to double check. So what I tend to do is just go back, do one space, and it finds all of those. And if I do another space, see, it finds anything that has a double space. Because sometimes when people type essays for me, they put double spaces, and it really is annoying, and you shouldn't do that, as far as I know. I'm going to replace it with one space. I'll just do the find 1, 2, and replace it with one space, and make sure that's one space. And I'll just say replace, and it's done that. So, and that's done. So that's how to extract text from any image, the two methods. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Remember to watch the next video when I'm going to show you my third app where you can keep one window on top of another permanently, or any other windows on top of any other windows, which I could do on the Windows, but you can't do it on the Mac. You do need this app. So watch out for the next video coming shortly. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a like.